to YouTube? Peace, love, and happy ascension to everybody taking time out of their day to watch my videos. See the ancestors in the background? Yeah. Right, so let's get straight to it. As you know, this is Ketosis back with another one. And today I'm going to be talking about fasting and the benefits of it. I'm going to be giving some little spiritual insight, some a little bit of historical insights, and definitely I'm going to be giving you some biological insight, right? So let's get straight into it. So fasting. What is fasting? Fasting is basically an extended period in which you do not eat, right? It is a state where your body does not receive any food for an extended period of time, right? Now, what happens when you're fasting, right? Before I explain that, let me just give y'all this little info right here. So when you eat food, your body converts a lot of it into glucose, right? And then uses glucose for fuel. Glucose is a type of sugar. It is a very simple sugar, in fact, right? So our brain and our muscles and everything uses glucose as fuel. But what happens when our body does not receive food and does not have any glucose to feed off of, really? Well, our bodies go into this metabolic state. It goes into this metabolic state called ketosis, right? Ketosis is when your body basically produces ketones in replacement of glucose. Ketones is actually a more potent source of energy to the brain than glucose. So let me just continue on with this. So these ketones are so a few ketones that I can name off are acetone and acetate, right? You know, acetone is used in a lot of cleaning supplies and stuff, right? Because it is a good disinfectant or whatnot, or detoxifier, or whatever kind of term you want to use, right? So oxidative stress, disease, and death, right? So let me talk about this. When our cells have too much oxidative stress, which means when there's too much oxygen present in the cells, they basically die, right? They die. So when you have all these dead cells in your body, that's when different diseases can sprout. A disease, if you look at the word disease, it is a dis-ease. It is an imbalance, right? That means that there's something going wrong. There's cellular. Your cells are uncomfortable, right? So, with that being said, how could you get rid of all these dead cells in your body so that you can help prevent cancers and other kinds of diseases? Well, ketosis really, when your body is looking for fuel, it is going to use the dead cells before it uses the living cells, right? Because your body is very intelligent. It is not going to attack the living cells first. It is going to eat at the dead cells because, you know, it's trying to find anything before it has to go into itself. So when you're exercising while in this fasting ketogenic state, these ketones flow through your bloodstream, filtering it out of these dead cells, right? So that being said, let me move on to the next thing, right? So ancient Kemet, if you don't know who the ancient Kemets were, they're basically the ancient Egyptians that they always tell you about with the pharaoh hats and everything, right? So ancient Kemet was so advanced that these people were literally making gold out of pyramids and mercury, and I'll tell you how. So these pyramids are basically they were made for, well, I don't want to say exclusively, but they were made so that they can generate large amounts of electricity, right? And if you know anything about alchemy or whatnot, you know that if you electrocute mercury at a high enough voltage, it will turn into gold, right? Now, if you look at all these different ancient civilizations, they were very rich in gold, and they had pyramids, and these pyramids were found with mercury underneath them, right? And I don't mean just in Egypt or ancient Kemet. I'm actually talking about all over the world, right? Because we were all over the world. Actually, did you know that in the Grand Canyon of Arizona, there's been they have found ancient Kemet relics, tombs, pyramids, everything, right? In the Grand Canyon of Arizona in the United States. And they kept this information hidden for 100 years. And now they have finally disclosed it to the public, right? So there's a lot of things that they're hiding from us. But let me continue on with this fasting and ketogenic stuff, right? So, yeah, let me just run back. So as I was saying, these ancient Kemets was using these pyramids to electrocute the mercury underneath to produce all that gold that they had. So we don't even know half the intelligence that these ancients had. They were far more advanced than we are today, right? So let me keep moving on. So the ancient Kemets knew the benefits of fasting because of how it so they knew that most diseases started in the gut, right? And the reason why most diseases start in the gut is because when you eat, say, too much dead flesh or too much, say, cookies, sweets, like candy, cookies, ice cream, whatever, right? I'm gonna use like modern day snacks, sodas, alcohol, stuff like that. It's gonna kill. You have good bacteria in your stomach, right? And when you eat these kinds of foods, they basically feed the bad bacteria in your gut. So when you overwhelm the good bacteria with bad bacteria, that's when the diseases and the illnesses start to begin, because you have basically infiltrated your own system with toxic bacteria. So these ancients, they understood this. So what they did frequently was they went through fasting. So with all this being said, let me just give y'all some biological drop on the benefits of fasting. So when your body is when your body's going through ketosis, basically your mitochondrial DEA produces more ATP, right? And yes, I say DEA because the 9 Ethereans, which are your black and Latinos, as I've explained in my 9 Ethereans video, right? Latinos are black people. If you don't know how, watch that video, right? So with that being said, the 9 Ethereans have DEA, humans have DNA. Now your humans are 6 Ethereans, and those include Caucasians, Asians, Dravidians, Mexicans, and Arabs, right? And this is not racist. This is just scientific facts. This is esoteric facts, cosmic intelligence facts. Shout out to Rashad. Shout out to I am Rashad Jamal, right? So that being said, when you're going through ketosis, your mitochondrial DEA produces more ATP. Now, what is ATP? ATP is basically these things that your body produces for energy, right? It is, your muscles contract because of ATP. Your thoughts move around your brain because of ATP. It basically helps with the synaptic fire of your nerves, right? So when you have greater amounts of ATP, you will have greater amounts of energy. And what comes with more energy comes more health, more intelligence, more artistic expression, and everything else, right? So not only does fasting help with weight loss gains or whatnot, but it can actually help your overall self, mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? So let me just give y'all some drop. This is for the 9 Ethereans mostly, but this can also apply to humans as well. I do not want anybody to feel excluded necessarily from my lessons, right? So starving. If you know how stars in the sky survive or emit their power, they consume themselves. Yes, suns and stars, which are the same thing, consume themselves to emit their power, right? So going back to starving and starvation. So when your body goes through fasting, 9 Etherean, from the cosmos, the star people, When you're starving, you're going through star survival. Yes. Starving, star surviving. Now, isn't it crazy how the stars consume themselves to emit their power? And if we start to consume ourselves with this fasting state and we increase our ATP generation, we produce more power, right? I hope I just connected some dots to you in the cosmos, because that sun in the sky is you, and you are it, and so am I, and we are the same. But that's a whole nother lecture, reflection. So that being said, if going into fasting completely, for, I would say, honestly, I would recommend fasting at most about maybe 3 days to a week. It depends on how good you can do it, right? If you can't just jump into it like that, I would recommend doing the 8 to 16 window intermittent fasting. The 8 to 16 window is basically where you have 8 hours in your day. All right, look, 8 plus 16 is 24. So we have 24 hours in the day. So within this 24 hours, you can only eat within 8 hours of that day, right? And for the rest of the 16, you do not eat, right? That is intermittent fasting. Now, this can help prepare your psyche and body to be ready for legitimate, full-blown fasting, right? So, with that being said, it could be like, you just wake up, you don't eat for a while, wait until that hour mark hit or whatever, that time period that you choose. You eat within that 8 hours, and then once that last 8 hours hit, do not eat anything, right? You could drink water, yeah, you could do that. But, because, water has no calories or anything like that, but, and plus you need to hydrate your organs, especially when they're not eating, especially when you're not eating, right? You have to hydrate them all the time, regardless. So, hold up, I got a brain fart. Man, I got so much in my mind. I apologize, guys. I kind of forgot what I was gonna say, but I hope I got that message out, man. Just to give a little run through of what I just said. So basically, fasting will put you in a ketogenic state in which your body creates ketones in replacement of glucose for fuel. And ketones is a better fuel for your brain than glucose itself, really, right? And with this being said, fasting will also help your mitochondrial DEA produce more ATP. ATP is what gives your nerves its fire, right? So, that being said, the ketogenic state under fasting will help your mentality, your physicality, because if you're somebody who's struggling with weight loss or whatever, and you want to start a new spiritual journey, this will be great insight for you, because not only is it going to help you get the weight goal that you want, it will also help you ascend in your spirituality as you understand who you really are in relation to the cosmos, as I said, with the sun and us, right? Now, I'm just going to give a little bit more drop for these 9 Ethereans, just a little bit more drop. Now, this has nothing to do with fasting, but I just wanted to include this in this video. Now, our chromosomes is in communication with the chromosphere of the sun. Yes, the sun is in complete connection with each and every Black and Latino's chromosome, right? Because we are the ones who created the cosmos. If you don't know how, then you should go and watch my Who is the 9 Ethereans video. You should watch What is the 9 Ether and Who are the 9 Ethereans. So this can all make sense, right? Now, with that little drop being said at the end with the chromosome and the chromosphere of the sun, that should then help me lead into my next lesson, or one of my other next lessons, right? So don't expect the next one to be about that, but it could very well be that one. So, just stay tuned, and yeah. So that being said, I hope I gave everybody a nice amount of insight today. This is it's hit the 15-minute mark. I might stretch a little bit beyond that. I don't really care about that, but anyway. Yeah, so yeah, I hope that you guys understand the benefits of fasting for your spirituality, mentality, and physicality. And with all that being said, peace, love, and happy ascension to everybody taking time out of their day to watch my videos. This is Ketosis, and I'm out. Peace.